So I just uploaded a 500-page PDF into an AI chatbot, the entire user manual for a Boeing 737. And I asked it to find the one specific procedure for handling a cabin pressure failure. ChatGPT. It choked. Claude. It skimmed the first 100 pages and gave up. But this tool, Kimi AI, read the entire thing in under 10 seconds and gave me the exact page, the exact paragraph, and even cross-referenced it with 3 other sections. And here's the wild part. It's completely free to start. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving deep into Kimi AI by Moonshot AI, the most slept-on AI tool of 2026. And honestly, it might be the only AI that actually reads your documents instead of pretending to. Let's get into it. Alright, so if you haven't heard of Kimmy yet, don't feel bad. It came out of Moonshot AI, a Chinese startup that's been absolutely crushing it in the long context game, while everyone else was busy adding voice modes and image generation. And look, I love ChatGPT. I use Claude almost every day. But here's the frustration every power user knows. You paste in a long report, a legal contract, or 100 pages of code, and the AI starts hallucinating. It forgets what was on page 12 by the time it gets to page 50. It summarizes the beginning and the end and completely misses the middle. That's because most AI models have a context window, basically their working memory, of around 100,000 to 200,000 characters. Sounds like a lot, right? Until you realize that's maybe 60 to 100 pages of dense text. Kimmy handles 2 million characters in one single conversation. That's not a typo. 2 million characters. I have a folder with 47 research papers about climate change models, PDFs, Word docs, some scanned images. Total size? About 1,800 pages. I'm going to drag all of them into Kimmy's upload window at once. Done. Uploaded. Now watch this. I'm going to ask, compare the methodology in the 2019 MIT paper with the 2024 Stanford paper, specifically regarding ocean temperature calibration, and tell me which model has the lower margin of error. And there it is. Not a generic summary. Not based on the documents provided. It literally cited both papers by name, pulled the exact methodology sections, compared the calibration models, and told me Stanford 2024 has a 0.3 degree lower margin of error. With the exact page numbers that I tried the exact same prompt in GPT-4 with the same files. It gave me a vague paragraph about both models use advanced techniques. Claude 3.5 Sonnet did slightly better. It caught one of the papers, but it completely missed the comparison point and invented a statistic that wasn't in either document. This isn't just slightly better. This is a different category of tool. Let's break this down properly. I ran 3 specific tests across Kimmy, GPT-4, and Claude 3.5 Sonnet, and I scored them out of 10. Test 1. Long document comprehension. I fed all 3 the same 300-page legal contract and asked them to find every clause related to intellectual property assignment and explain the implications. Kimmy scored a 9 out of 10. It found 14 relevant clauses, explained 3 different IP frameworks, and flagged 1 ambiguous section. GPT-4 scored a 5. It found 6 clauses and missed a whole appendix. Claude scored a 7, solid, but it conflated 2 different sections and didn't catch the ambiguity. Test 2. Multi-file coding. I uploaded an entire GitHub repo, about 40 files, 15,000 lines of Python, and asked, where's the authentication bug and how do I fix it? Kimmy traced the bug across 4 different files, identified the exact line where the JWT token wasn't being validated properly, and wrote the corrected code. GPT-4 found a different, less critical bug and missed the JWT issue entirely. Claude actually did find it too, but took 3 times as long to process. Test 3. Consistency over long conversations. I had a 90-message back and forth about planning a complex video production schedule, referencing details from message 3, message 27, and message 64. Kimmy remembered all 3 details perfectly. GPT-4 remembered message 3 and 27, but forgot 64. Claude remembered 27 and 64, but got the details of message 3 wrong. So across the board, Kimmy is winning on context, depth, and accuracy. But it's not perfect. Here's who I think should actually be using Kimmy right now. If you're a researcher or grad student, this is a no-brainer. Upload your entire reference library. Ask cross-paper questions. Find contradictions in the literature. I wish I had this when I was writing my thesis. If you're a developer, the multi-file code understanding is genuinely impressive. It's not replacing GitHub Copilot for autocomplete, but for architecture review, bug hunting across large code bases, or understanding legacy code. It's incredible. If you're in legal, finance, or consulting, contract review, due diligence, compliance checking across hundreds of pages, Kimmy doesn't get tired, doesn't miss page 147 because it's 2 a.m., and doesn't charge you $800 an hour. And if you're just a curious person who wants to upload an entire book and debate the author chapter by chapter, yeah, it does that too. I uploaded a 900-page history textbook and had a 2-hour conversation about World War II economic policy. It never lost the thread. Okay, real talk. What are the downsides? First, the interface is clean but basic. It's not as polished as ChatGPT's voice mode or Claude's artifacts feature. You won't be generating images or having voice conversations here. Kimmy is a text and document powerhouse, not a multimedia assistant. If you're a researcher or grad student, this is a no-brainer. Upload your entire reference library. Ask cross-paper questions. Find contradictions in the literature. I wish I had this when I was writing my thesis. If you're a developer, the multi-file code understanding is genuinely impressive. It's not replacing GitHub Copilot for autocomplete, but for architecture review, bug hunting across large code bases, or understanding legacy code. It's incredible. If you're in legal, finance, or consulting, contract review, due diligence, compliance checking across hundreds of pages, Kimmy doesn't get tired, doesn't miss page 147 because it's 2 a.m., and doesn't charge you $800 an hour. And if you're just a curious person who wants to upload an entire book and debate the author chapter by chapter, yeah, it does that too. I uploaded a 900-page history textbook and had a 2-hour conversation about World War II economic policy. It never lost the thread. Okay, real talk. What are the downsides? First, the interface is clean but basic. It's not as polished as ChatGPT's voice mode or Claude's artifacts feature. You won't be generating images or having voice conversations here. Kimmy is a text and document powerhouse, not a multimedia assistant. Second, while the free tier is genuinely generous, the highest context windows and fastest speeds are on the paid plan, which is still cheaper than GPT-4 Plus, but worth noting. Third, because it's from a Chinese company, some people have privacy concerns. I haven't seen any red flags personally, but if you're uploading classified government documents or sensitive client data, do your own due diligence. Use common sense. And fourth, it's so good at long documents that you might actually start trusting it too much. Always verify critical information. AI is a tool, not a replacement for your brain. So here's my verdict. Kimi AI isn't going to replace ChatGPT for everyone. If you want voice conversations, image generation, or the most polished general-purpose experience, GPT-4 and Claude are still ahead. But if your work involves long documents, massive code bases, research, legal text, or any situation where context and accuracy across thousands of pages actually matters, Kimmy is the best tool I've tested in 2026. Full stop. That is the only AI I've used where I genuinely stopped worrying about whether it actually read the whole file. Because it did. And it understood it. I've dropped a link to Kimi AI in the description. It's free to try, so there's literally no reason not to test it on your hardest document and see what happens. If you want me to do a full comparison video pitting Kimi against Claude 3.5 Opus and GPT-5 when it drops, smash that like button and let me know in the comments. I'll make it happen. Subscribe if you want honest AI reviews without the hype. I test these tools so you don't have to waste your time. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.